is falling into cycles, how it feels in the moment. I find myself getting trapped in these cycles, actual habit that you want. Totally knocked out in the middle of a Hooters or fucking throwing up in a parking lot, the weaker part of ourselves that are trying to get to us and trying to stop us from achieving our true potential. We in the clouds, baby. Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy OG Fabio back here with a new In the Clouds podcast, with a solo podcast. Haven't done one of these in a while. Before we get started on this podcast, I really want to thank you guys for the support you guys have been showing on the channel. We reached 86 subscribers at the time of this recording. We're on the road to 100, and we're gonna just keep going from there. But I just really want to say thank you to you guys. And if you guys keep enjoying the channel, just keep supporting by liking the videos, commenting, even if it's something stupid like a middle finger. Who cares? Even if it's a hate comment, just drop it. It don't matter. Let me know how the podcast could get better. Any feedback is very welcome. But yeah, just keep supporting. We're on the road to bigger and better things, whatever that saying is. This week I want to talk about something that I'm going through right now, and I know a lot of us go through it. Is falling into cycles and how that starts, how it feels in the moment, how we can kind of work on, I guess, getting on the cycles, which I'm not an expert on because I find myself getting trapped in these cycles every few months, even weeks at times, or even days. It could be you're good for a cool 2-3 days, and then you go back to the dumb shit that you were doing, and then you're like, okay, 2 days of that, and then you go back to being on your shit. And so it's like these cycles that we come in and out of. Pause. We all kind of are going through the same stuff, like as different as we are, as as different as we think, we all kind of have the same habits or the same way of living. When someone posts that one meme that's super relatable, and you're like, how the fuck, I didn't know anyone else was going through this shit. And sure enough, this random kid in Idaho is going through the same thing. So we all kind of experience the same stuff, I feel like. And myself, I find myself falling into these cycles. Now, sometimes they could be good cycles, as we've talked about before. I've talked a lot about momentum and how momentum can help us push us forward. But then in reverse, sometimes bad stuff is happening to us all the time, and it feels like once one bad thing happens to you, another thing bad thing happens to you, and it just becomes like a snowball effect, and it piles up, and then it hits you, and you're like totally knocked out in the middle of fucking a Hooters or something. I don't know, somewhere fucking throwing up in a parking lot or something, which I've actually been through. Like, I remember one time I was hungover as fuck. I was dead, and I needed some food. I was like, I woke up and I was like, bro, I need some food now because my stomach was killing me. And so I had to, of course, I want to get some pho, something warm, something nice and brothy. So I drove myself straight to a pho place, and it turns out they were closed. And I was just like, I was, I was annoyed as hell. So I went to a fucking Burger King right next door, and I ordered like a freeze or something. It was something really dumb, and when I think I drank it, the whole thing or like half of it, and then I was like, okay, I feel a little bit better. Stepped out. I was like, I was in the parking lot. First of all, I was in the parking lot just thinking to myself, what am I doing right now? Like, I'm literally at a fucking Burger King, just sitting in front, hungover as fuck. Um, and then I just started yakking. I just started throwing up all over the fucking parking lot. I just started second guessing all of that. Anyways, all of that story was just to get back to um, this. I don't know where the fuck. I don't know how that even led to that. But we follow. We follow ourselves. What am I saying? We fall into these cycles that are almost instinctually, like, like you'll be doing good, but somehow you slowly start going back into these cycles where you find yourself doing the same things every single day. You'll wake up, scroll on your phone for like 15 minutes, go take a shit, get ready for the day, shower, whatever, go to work, and then you come back home, and then you maybe you eat or something, um, go on your phone for a while, and then that's it, and then that's the rest of the night. And that's pretty much the rest of the night, and you go home or you go sleep. For me right now, I find myself a lot of the times just waking up, um, you know, getting on that phone, um, try to get some writing in, try to get some writing and journaling in, which has been hard because I've been waking up. I mean, I haven't been waking up late, but to get more things done in a day, I guess I do find myself waking up late, and then I have no times for the things that I have scheduled, or if I've thought about them, and I just like, oh man, I already gotta go to work or whatever, and so it becomes a cycle, and you get comfortable with that feeling of, oh, okay, damn, I woke up late, so I won't get to this and I won't get to that. But once you do that for a while, you're just caught in an endless loop of, okay, I'm waking up late again. Oh, I'm here on my phone. It's whatever. I might as well just wait for the next day. But then the next day becomes the same thing. And the next day becomes the same thing. The next month becomes the same thing. It just becomes a continuous cycle. And I've talked about it. Like I said, I've talked about it a lot on the podcast about how momentum can kill us. Like it's the ultimate weapon and the ultimate tool. Like it could be a great tool when you're doing great. Especially life. Sometimes it feels like life gives you things and then it starts rolling and gives you some good, and then switches up on you, and then you get that bad momentum. And so the same way, you fall into these cycles where you're doing good, but then all of a sudden you slowly start turning bad. And something that I had to realize with my own cycles that I've been going through, um, is I find myself picking up old habits that I perhaps wasn't doing, or maybe I got rid of because like, all right, this is a bad habit. Um, Let me not do it. But then when you slowly like give yourself like little rewards per se, or like those breaks from your cycle, from your responsibility or duties, or your plan for growth or whatever, you'd be like, oh, today I today or I've been reading for 3 days in a row. Let me today I'm just gonna be spending on my phone. You know, you break that cycle, and then that momentum is lost, and then you get comfortable with that feeling like, let me just be on my phone a few more days or whatever, and then you stop that habit completely, and it just goes away. And I found myself doing that all the time, where I pick up a good habit that I'm doing consistently, every day, even if it's not for too long. And then I find oh, okay, I've been doing good. Let me take a little break, or let me do something else. So you start getting that same effect that you did something with something else, and you stop going to that thing that can be so easy. Like something that for me, that I find myself every time I fall back to it, I go back to those old habits, and it sucks because I really love like I love carts. Like weed carts are super convenient. You get those. You can have those wherever. You can hit them wherever. You could get high whenever, pretty much. And for a long while, for a long while, what am I saying? Since high school, I've been on them, 15 hitting them, 16. I think I hit my first cart. I for sure heard, what the fuck? I am slurring words like a motherfucker. I for sure hit weed way before I hit a cart. I don't remember when the first cart I hit was. It must have been one of my family. It might have been one of my like uncles or aunts, or it could have been one of my friends. I really don't know. But once I hit those, I was like, oh, that's a game changer. And you can hit them in the house. You don't have to go outside. You still got to be a little bit more cautious with them. Like my dumbass was just hitting them in my room, boxing my room, and thinking my mom wouldn't smell that shit. But as as I was hitting them, I was getting used to that feeling of instant high. Like with a car, I mean, not an instant high because a car would deceive a motherfucker. Like a car will sneak up on you like a motherfucker. You hit like 4 or 5 times on that motherfucker, and then you're like, oh, fuck, I'm not that high. Let me take another 2 3 hits. You take those 3 extra hits, man. 5 minutes later, you're floored. You're like, what the fuck? I did not expect that I was gonna be this high. But what was I going with that? I don't even know. I was just explaining pens in general. I've been hitting them for a long while, and so I was falling into that cycle where I got the pen, hit it a few days. And the first few days of a pen, you're feeling great. You're feeling like you want to do stuff. But then that third day, even the second day, but third day, fourth day, for me, I start to be more of thinking of it too much and not doing it as much. I'm thinking about, oh, these are some great ideas, but then I don't put them into action. I just let them sit there in my brain for them to go away, or for them to be, thoughts for that moment, fall asleep, and you completely forget that idea. So then you're just left with a groggy, high feeling that I don't know. Like sometimes after cards, it almost feels like a hangover. Like I don't get a hangover for anything else. I mean, sometimes you'll be a little bit like, I guess, after high, when you smoke a wood or whatever, or like a blunt, whatever, a joint, when you smoke tree. But with cards especially, like you could hit that shit the night before 2 3 times, you go to sleep, and then you wake up feeling like this high grogginess. And even throughout the whole day, I mean, if you hit it in the morning, I feel like even in the afternoon, if you don't take a nap, you're just groggy the whole day, fucking tired. So I every time I get a cart, I fall back into those habits where like I'm literally like high school days when I have no responsibilities, just getting high, finding money to get high, and just sit at home, fucking jerk off, fucking lay there and just fucking watch fucking Netflix, whatever the fuck you're doing on that day. And so I had to realize that I have to stop this habit before it fucking takes me over. It takes over my whole life, and now it's just constantly looking for that high, that hit, whatever the hell it is. And so, that doesn't mean I'm not. I mean, let's be honest. I'm not sober. Let's make one thing clear. That doesn't mean I'm over here sober as fuck all day. No, quite the opposite. I'm probably just as high. But at least with tree, I can differentiate the action and the thought of it and everything, and make everything. It enhances everything instead of just slowing everything down and kind of like fogging everything up. It kind of brightens everything up. And so that's just one example of how these small little habits can create this cycle that you're stuck in. And I read not read a lot, for sure not read. I'm capping on that. I do want to read on it, just because it's something that's super powerful that we don't realize, I guess, is how much our habits shape us, and how one habit can affect the other habits. Life is just literally all habits after a certain point. Unless you're like every day fucking on some James Bond shit. I mean, he probably still has his habits. He's probably waking up every day, fucking shining his shoes, fucking sharpening his knives in his fucking pen or something, whatever the fuck James Bond does. But we fall into these habits, and we fall into these cycles. So we don't even realize it sometimes. You'll be in those cycles without recognizing that you're in them. And you think that you're growing, but you're really in the same place. You're not aiming for nothing. You're not getting better at anything. And so you just feel, I guess, static at a point where you're not changing anything. You're not changing a habit. You're not changing something for that cycle to shift or something. And so it's the same cycle, and we we stay in these cycles for so long that to get out of them, it's almost impossible. It feels impossible. You think about it like, what if I do this? What if I do this? Like, no, I can't do that. No, I'm not gonna have enough time for that. No, I can't. No, but it's not just gonna shift out of nowhere. The change has to be made, even if it's a small change, even if it's one habit that maybe is insignificant, or that you think that's insignificant. It actually can change up the whole cycle. Like, I'm thinking of it as uh, like a car, I guess. Like, the car's running. The car is gonna run. If even if you don't take care of it. Um, but then you start changing one thing. It could be a super shitty car, and it could be all the fucking parts are fucked up, and everything's all fucked up. But then you start switching part by part, even if it's a small part. Okay, this made this work better, and now it starts running a little bit better. Then you change another part. Then that part kind of fixes the other part or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that makes sense. I think that's a horrible analogy, because you kind of have to replace every single part in a fucking car. But it's like a gear. It's almost like it. It's funny enough. I was talking to this guy at this new job I have. He was a customer who came in, and dude was like fucking insane. Like, he was not insane. You know what? That's a wrong word to use, because I've always said, don't call people crazy. Don't call people insane. They just have a different way of thinking. They have a different perspective. Which, who knows? Maybe we're the crazy ones. Maybe his free mind, his ability to think so freely and think about these different things is is the right way to think. Who knows? Whatever the fuck it is. But this dude was just talking to me about religion, I guess, because I had my Buddha chain on, which I'm not a like a fucking I can't say I'm a Buddhist or anything, but I can see myself aligning with them a lot because of their ideas and the way they think. I still haven't done my research on them specifically, like, who was the founder and what exact teachings do they have. It's just like the general idea of it kind of comforts me and makes me think, oh, okay, there is a religion for me out there, or there's for something for me to believe in. And I had the Buddha on my neck. Plus, it was a girlfriend. Like, my girlfriend gave me the gift, so of course I'm gonna be wearing it. I didn't think anything of it until this dude came in. He started questioning me, fucking majorly. Like, he was asking me like every single question about the fucking Buddha. Like, he's like, so did you know about the Buddha and the founder, right? Do you what did he say to me? Would you consider someone who left their kids for 15 years, 20 years to be a good person? And like, he was trying to like make me fall into it, but I already seen it coming. I was like, oh, okay, so I'm guessing either fucking Buddha himself or the founder of this motherfucker left their kids or whatever. And sure enough, he was like, yeah, that's what happened. The founder left his wife, and she was like 14 or something. It was some crazy thing. And I was just like, okay, I don't know. I didn't know how to respond to it, because I wasn't like disagreeing with him. I mean, he had a bunch of valid points. I don't even know why the hell I brought this dude up in the fucking first place. If I'm being honest, I'm trying to like track this back to what the hell this had to do with the conversation I was talking about. But I guess cycles, talking to people. I have no idea, guys. We had to get in the clouds a little bit before this podcast, so here I am trying to honestly just talk and think of some shit to say. That's what most of these podcasts are, if we're being honest. Just me finding things to fill in. What, this one's probably gonna be like 45 minutes, so 45 minutes or an hour, or I don't know. I don't remember what was the longest podcast I've done. I really want to I really want to find that out. Like, what's the longest I've gone for just talking into the camera? Because with someone else, it's super. It I mean, it's not super easy, especially with um people that are not as talkative or not as, I guess, I wouldn't say imaginative, but as more open up to conversation, which maybe is my job as a host, I guess, to open them up and try to um get them to open up more and freely talk. But it's super hard sometimes. Let's be honest. Like, some people are just not as much as, some people, you start a conversation with them and it will be the most fluid, like, oh, this feels so natural, blah blah blah. And then there's some people that you're just sitting there like, the weather is looking crazy, right? Or, like, it's just small talk. Holy fuck, I almost fell. Um but but I don't know how this cycle is, or this cycle. So you see that, a little callback reference. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. But falling into these cycles, we find ourselves just trapped in them. Like, we don't know if what's the best move when you're in the cycles. You're like, what's the best move to do? And for me, the biggest thing was changing a small habit that, even though it seemed insignificant, see, I know I'm like, I could almost connect the two ideas of what the hell I was talking about before, but now I just can't. Um, the worst part of being in these cycles is sometimes it feels like there's no way out of it. Like, you're just stuck there and you're thinking of all these ideas to get out of it, and then you're in your head thinking about how you can make it better, and you don't actually put action sometimes. And I mean, it's hard. Like, I find myself all the time going back into old habits, and like, habits are truly what shapes us as a person. Seeing the videos and seeing the information about it is really super crazy, how one habit can just change up everything else. Like, it becomes a constant, um almost a rabbit hole. Once you fall into one habit, it could lead you to another one, and then those habits lead into other habits. And just the hardest part is just staying consistent with them, because it's easy to, like, fall into that cycle with bad habits. You wake up, like, and get high, just sit there on your phone for 2 hours, whatever. Get to work, you know be at work for whatever, 6 8 hours, and then you come back and the same shit. You on the phone, on the shit, or whatever the hell you're doing. But that one small change is what changes everything else. It makes it become a a chain effect where it starts linking to those other habits. Like, you start doing one thing, and it could be something small. Let's say you start going outside 5 minutes at the beginning of the day. you know and so you start going outside 5 minutes, and then the first few days is all cool, and all of a sudden you're like, what, it's a nice day, I'm gonna start walking. So that walking came from that going outside. So now you're walking, and you're walking around your neighborhood, and so you're building off that first habit. So if you don't make that first change, then those other habits don't pick up. And we want to get to these major habits where fucking work out 2 3 hours a day, fucking work for 6 hours, fucking work on fucking making train cars or whatever for fucking 14 hours, all that, working on your craft. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't know why the fuck I said trains out of everything, but working on your craft for those 6 hours isn't realistic. Let's be honest. Like, you can't just go from being dead to just straight fucking fucking 100% fucking raw dogging and just keep fucking just keep fucking it, whatever. It's those small like those small changes that really take effect over time. You can't just go straight from I'm gonna be this lazy motherfucker to I'm gonna be this hardworking motherfucker. You have to build up on it. And I mean, for sure, maybe some people just do that switch automatically, goes from that to that. But at least for me, the way I see myself and I see what works for me better is making those small changes day by day instead of just going straight to those big changes. It's a lot easier to go change by change by change than change to change. I've said change like 40 times. It's like something like waking up early. You wake up early for these amount of times. You can't just go straight to 4 a.m. You have to build off of that. So, let's say you're waking up at like 9 every day. So you're like, you know what? I want to wake up earlier. I want to wake up at 5. You can't just go straight to fucking 5 a.m. because your body has to adjust to it. So, you start off with that 7 a.m. You wake up, you wake up later a few times. You might even wake up at 9 one of those days. Your body's used to that. So you have to get into that cycle where you're waking up at 7, waking up at 7 a few times, 7:05, 7:10, 7:20, whatever. Back to 7, back to 7:05, 6:59, 6:58, and then you bring it back again. You bring it to 6. Now you're at 6. You wake up at 6 every day. 6:57, go back to that 7, but then you go back 6:20, 6:15, 6:10. Now you're waking up at 6. Now you can finally make that leap to 5. You keep subtracting that time, and it's those habits that you change in the beginning that leads to that actual habit that you want. And so for me, my biggest thing was doing that dramatically. Like I'd be like, okay, I'm doing this. I'm tired of waking up at 7, 8. Even though that's not super late, there's still so much shit that could be done way earlier that sets you up for the day, and it sets you up for having more time in the afternoon or more time in working on whatever the hell you're working on. So I had to start waking up earlier and earlier. I'm trying to wake up at like fucking 4, if I'm being honest. Like I know it's super unrealistic, especially because I'd be sleeping at like 12. But there's big changes coming into my life, which I don't know if I'm talking about on the podcast yet. But that's just not realistic. For me, if I'm sleepy, I almost can't function. Like I'll be super dead. Like I won't be the same me. I won't be energetic. I can't shoot podcasts. I can't, think properly if I don't get my sleep. So I have to find a way to rationalize it out. Waking up at 6, which it's still not as early as I want to be. Waking up 6:30 some days, but trying to wake up at 6 is where I'm at right now. But getting to that 4 a.m., I have to bring it back, maybe 5:30, then get to 5, and then get to 4 or whatever. Again, who knows if that's actually gonna work? Because I'm telling you guys, like if I'm waking up at like 4 a.m. and I'm still super tired, I'll go back to sleep. Like there's just no way for me to not go back to sleep. I'm just in bed. I'm not gonna fucking get up. So it's all my own doing, and it's all building those habits in order for them to change over time. They're not just gonna change automatically. Like I'm not just gonna go from waking up at 7 to waking up at 4. That's now how at least my brain works, not how my body works. So I had to do it slowly by slowly instead of rushing it so much. And That's for so much shit. It's working out, it's reading, it's learning about different stuff, working on myself, meditation. It's those small changes and those small habits that you build, that build up over time and become new cycles. And of course, I think the biggest thing for me was accepting that fact that those cycles are gonna, like, those habits are gonna come back. Those old habits are gonna come back. They're gonna try to get back into your life, and it's, you might have a 2-3 day rudder, but then the only thing you could do is come back from it. You could only keep fighting it until you finally have mastered that recognition of those bad habits coming back and being able to push them away. But in the meantime, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. A few times, maybe a week. A few times, maybe a month. It turns into a few times a year. But then you're slowly getting those habits out of your life, so that you're actually growing. And for myself, I'm trying to grow myself. I'm trying to grow the channel, grow my my skill, my what I love to do, whether it's the podcast, whether it's music, whether it's just being myself and growing myself, finding out who the fuck I am. It's all gonna take time. It isn't just gonna happen overnight. So it's realizing that, and not even looking, like, how would I explain it? It's not looking at those failures to come as in a negative way. It's gonna be part of it. And that's how you know that you're making change, because those old habits want to come back. If they don't come back, it's because you're just, I mean, how can I explain it? I mean, that sounds super bad, right? Like, those habits are gonna come back, but it's not how we look at them, it's how we react to them, and it's how we grow from them, and we just keep it pushing, because that's the biggest thing. Like, if you let those old habits put you in a cycle again, then you'll just be there stuck. You'll let it stop you in your tracks, and then you're just stuck, and now you have nothing to show, nothing to go for, no goals to achieve. You're just at the same place. And that's something for me that I like. Even thinking about it's scary, and it gets me nervous. Like, sometimes, like, it's almost overwhelming. Like, what if that can happen to me? Or not, what if that can happen? That happens to me all the time. But it shouldn't stop me from trying to break that, and to keep on pushing against that, and keep on doing it until I become a master at pushing that away, and just working on the craft, working on whatever the hell I'm doing, and just giving it my all, just giving it all that I can, not rushing it, of course, um, but but building new habits, so that I can fall into that cycle that I want to be in. We There is a cycle that you want to be in, because there is good in those cycles sometimes. You're putting you know your service into the universe, showing the universe that this is what I want to do. This is the cycles that I want. This is the cycles that I'm showing you. Now give me some new ones, or give me some you know give me an opportunity to make new ones, and make new cycles and new habits, and more growth, instead of just keeping those same old ones, and staying at that same place that so many people are in. We are all in those cycles that we can't break, whatever it is, going to work, even as simple as going to work. Fucking you hate the fucking job until you get there, and you're like, okay, this is not that bad. Um, but I'm gonna do all my work. Once I get home, I'm gonna do all my fucking shit that I want. But then once you get home, you don't do any of it. You're just there mindless. Like you're just doing it, and you're almost like your brain shuts off at a certain point where you're not even thinking about the days, and that's when you fucking 6 7 days, or should I say 6 7 weeks pass by, and you're like, where the fuck am I? Where the fuck am I? What have we done? What progress have we made? Um, like me, I got a new job, and I fell into that same cycle of going to work, coming back home, resting, doing a little bit of work, trying to do like 1 hour of podcast work or 2 hours of podcast work, maybe write some music for like an hour, but then no progression, no going for something, no consistency. And so I had to catch myself, and I'm like, okay, I'm not doing this right now. I'm not gonna fall into this cycle. What can I do to change it? So I, started making plans, started scheduling myself, scheduling my day for the next day. Um, Truly helps you figure out, okay, I have this time frame. I'm gonna do this between this time frame, and if I don't, well, fuck it. I gave it my all. I want to finish this within this time frame so that I can move on to the next thing or work on the next thing, and that's my way of dealing with it. Some people are just gonna say, fuck it, I'm gonna just completely change, and you make that shift right away. For me, it didn't work like that. I have to constantly work on these small habits so that they could build into these big habits and cause a cycle, a chain, whatever, of positive habits. Because that's all it is. That's all it is. Just finding habits that are truly good for you. How long have we been going for? 43 minutes. That's not too bad. I've had a little fucking breaks here and there, not knowing what the fuck to say, which is a lot of podcasts if I'm being honest. And I'm not gonna lie, this podcast on the feet is no fucking joke. I'm not doing this shit again no more. It truly, like, now I'm thinking about my feet fucking hurting, so now I want to end the podcast, but I really don't, because I love podcasting, guys. I love just sitting here talking to you guys. I took a little break from doing these, just because it felt like maybe people weren't giving it as much love, people weren't enjoying them as much. But then I remembered what the fuck I did this podcast for in the first place. It was for me. It was for me and what, like, the shit that I wanted to talk about. Because, I'm not saying I'm the most interesting person in the world. I'm not saying everybody wants to listen to me. But I know there's some dumb motherfuckers. I mean, if motherfuckers are listening to, fucking, I don't know. There's some dumbass fucking influencer out there. Some fucking podcasters that really talk nonsense. And they get fucking views. So, hey, maybe if I say some stupid shit enough times, maybe I'll catch somebody's attention, and hopefully, make them a listener. Which I guess you guys are doing that right now. Not to criticize you guys. I don't know, guys. I'm fucking super tired. It's the end of the day. I don't even know if I'm gonna post this, guy. It's gonna be it's a debate. This might be one of those vaulted ones, or it might be a late night. Because I truly do just feel like this one could have came out a little bit better. But hey, you know what? It's all about just doing them, staying consistent. And sometimes it's the ones that I don't like that that do well with you guys. I don't know what it is. Maybe the standing up will give me some good luck energy or some bullshit, whatever the fuck the kids say these days. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. I'm 22. I always talk about like I'm this old man or shit. I'm 22, 23. I don't know shit. I don't know. I haven't experienced enough. I haven't gone through my fair share of bullshit. I mean, I've been through my own stuff, but I'm lucky enough to not have gone through the most I guess not dramatic, but like the most chaotic life. I've had my problems here and there, but hey, this motherfucker's dying in fucking Ghana, fucking from starvation, and I'm over here. I don't even know. That might have been racist. I don't really know countries at all. I really don't. I just know what I know, and that's what we know. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying, guys. I think that's going to be the end of this podcast. It's been a good 45 minutes, whatever the fuck it's been. Probably going to cut this up. Give you guys as much as I can, because I think I just started rambling at the end. Not really seeing the points that I was making at all. But came out okay. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed listening to another installment of my bullshit, my fucking rambling, my nonsense. But hopefully we all learned something, and hopefully you guys all, um, make that small change. Make that small change as a habit, and you will see that growth over time. It's not going to happen right away, but those habits are going to shape you. So find some good ones. Fall into those cycles that are going to grow you. You want those chains, you want those gears to go forward. You don't want them to go backwards. So just keep it pushing. We're all going through the same fucking bullshit. We're all trying to find a way to make a living, to live our true lives, not live someone else's lives. But holy shit, is hard. It's draining at times. Constantly fighting those battles, constantly finding new habits, building habits, keeping good habits is super hard. Especially when you get bored of it or you get tired of it, you have to keep at it, because that's just resistance. That's just the weaker part of ourselves that are trying to get to us and trying to stop us from achieving our true potential, our true greatness, which I think everyone has. I think if everyone literally just thought about themselves and thought about growing themselves, no thoughts about the outer world, what other people are going to think, then we would be so much farther in life, so much farther in society and how we live than we are now, because everyone's so caught up in what the other person is thinking and what this other person is gonna think, what your best friend's gonna think. I've caught myself doing that too. I think about what my friends are gonna think about me, and how does this affect this other person? But it doesn't affect nobody except you if you let it stop you. So now you're just there, sitting there in the fucking tail between your ass and not doing shit, in the same cycles as everyone else around you, and you expect to be great, but then you surround yourself with people that are living cycles of all the bad stuff. You guys I don't even gotta name it, you guys know what I'm saying. But that's it for today, guys. As I said before, I really appreciate you guys for showing that support and being super helpful with the growth of the channel. We're only gonna keep posting. We're gonna keep thriving to get better. So let me know in the comments how we can grow the podcast, what you guys want to see, and maybe some topics that you guys want to talk about, that you want me to talk about, and we'll keep it pushing from there. We'll get some of those out. Until then, just keep doing your thing. Like, comment, all that good stuff. I don't gotta tell y'all know what it is with YouTube now. I don't really gotta say it. You see all those like, comments, subscribes, but it's like, motherfucker, we know that's what you do on YouTube. Who the fuck doesn't know that? I guess if you're fucking 4 years old, I guess a fucking little subscribe button. Oh wow, look at the subscribe button. I'm gonna subscribe now. No, just if you like it, just subscribe to the channel. And yeah, see you tomorrow. See you whenever. As always, stay in the clouds. Peace.